It's Sunday, February 16th, 2025. Thanks for tuning in today. Really do appreciate it. Got some articles here that I printed up. Was reading these this morning. I want to share these with you. Feel free to comment down below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. A lot of people saying they haven't been notified with the latest videos. Make sure you hit the bell notification and hit all. Make sure that again, that you hit the bell notification and press all so that anytime a short or any video drops, you are alerted. I'm going to start with this first one on CNBC. Restaurants warn of weak first quarter, but say sales will pick up later this year. Look, we all know that the consumer is tapped out at this point. They're not going out to eat as much. It's getting expensive for the average person just to go to McDonald's. And I can't even imagine what a family of four must spend just to go out to lunch, dinner, breakfast. It is just unbelievable, the cost now to go out to dinner. Now, I do it every once in a while, but I do it a lot less. Going out to lunch is a rarity now because I do most of my lunches at home, all my breakfasts at home, and a majority of my dinners at home. Now and then, it is nice to go out and have a nice dinner or have a nice lunch. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it. But it is unbelievable how much it costs now to go out to a restaurant. And if you go to a decent restaurant, not even a fancy restaurant, just a decent restaurant, for two people with a tip, it could cost $100 or more just for a dinner. And we're not talking Mastro's. We're just talking a decent place. It is absolutely nothing now to spend $100 to go out to dinner for two people. So when I see families, that have 2 or 3 kids, I don't know. I really don't know how they're doing it. If you're, in this group and you have kids, all respect to you. But I think a lot of you are pulling back and cutting back because these prices are absolutely ridiculous. And for the most part, most of these places are giving you a smaller portion, less quality, bad service. And if you're going to survive in this climate, and you're a restaurant owner, you better make sure that you're giving people the best food possible and the best service possible. I would rather pay more and get less, but have great service and great quality food. Nothing worse than getting smaller portions and less quality and bad service. And this is why so many restaurants are going under and will continue to go under. Don't lose your customers if you own a restaurant, ladies and gentlemen. Once you get a bad reputation, it's very, very hard to recover. Skyrocketing healthcare budget for migrants haunts blue state taxpayers. Taxpayers are paying billions of dollars, $9.5 billion right here in the state of California. That's what we're paying to take care of people that are here illegally. $9.5 billion. And by the way, the state of California, is $30 billion in the red. Repeat, $30 billion in the red, but we have $9.5 billion to give health care to people that aren't even supposed to be here. And again, I have empathy and compassion for people, but I have empathy and compassion for the people of America, the residents of America. What about their compassion? What about empathy for the American taxpayer, the citizen of the United States of America? Where's their empathy? Where's their compassion? $9.5 billion right here in the state of California, while we're running $30 billion in the red. Here's another one today. Treason. Elon Musk blasts Gavin Newsom for allocating $9.5 billion on free health care for over 700,000 migrants. Wouldn't you love to have free healthcare, especially if you're here in California? Wouldn't you love to have free healthcare? You don't get free healthcare. People from other parts of the world can come here and get free healthcare. You just have to pay for it. I think that's an absolute crime. I just cannot believe where we're at as a nation right now and how this country has fallen. And I hope it does turn around at some point this year. Here's another one from redstate.com. Army siphons over $151 million from soldier food budget and leaves the troops hungry. This took place in 2024. That's 67% of the $225 million of their budget of the Congress allocated to buy food for soldiers living in barracks. So out of that budget, 67% got cut. Where did it go? Nobody seems to have the answer. There is absolutely no moral or ethical justification for this level of theft, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the money? Where did the money go? Now, would you be upset if Doge wanted to investigate this and see where the money went? Who would have an issue with that? Who would have a problem wanting to know where $151 million went that was supposed to feed our soldiers, but nobody knows where it went? I think that should be investigated. And why are we not making sure that our soldiers are getting the highest level of nutrition money can buy? I saw the pictures of what these guys are eating. Pathetic. Pathetic. It's disgusting. The people in jail eat better than our troops. This is absolutely disgusting. And yet people would be like, oh no, I don't think Doge should investigate that. That we shouldn't do that. You have a screw loose. You have a mental problem that you don't want to know where the money went and why we're not feeding our soldiers, and what we are feeding them is complete trash. Again, looking at the pictures of what these guys were eating, you would rather be in prison eating prison food. This was just absolutely disgusting. Washington recession begins. DC active home listings soared. Jobless claims spike as Doge drains swamp. Active listings are soaring. Jobless claims are spiking. An economic downturn is just ahead for the federal bureaucracy, the swamp. DC, Maryland, North Central Virginia. These areas, if you go on the MLS, you are going to see listings absolutely soaring. So we see that people in these areas are looking up RICO laws, they're looking up criminal defense attorneys, they're listing their homes for sale. It's amazing what Doge is doing. And isn't it shocking, the people who don't want Doge investigating, many of them live in these areas. Many of them are looking for attorneys right now. Many of them are putting their houses on the market. Many of them are losing their jobs. What are your thoughts on all of this? Comment down below. We have seen so much already happen. We're just in February, and we've seen so much happen in this country. It's mind-blowing. More Americans with government loans are falling behind on their mortgages, a warning sign for consumer health. This on Yahoo Finance. FHA loans. Delinquency rate of an FHA loan right now, 11.03%. Veterans Affairs VA loan, 4.7%. This was at the end of last year. Conventional mortgage delinquencies are also creeping up, and they're sitting at 2.62%. Nothing too crazy yet. But you wonder how many people are behind. It's not even being reported. The banks don't want to report this stuff. Remember the moratoriums we had? We had rent moratoriums, mortgage moratoriums. Businesses didn't have to pay loans. I mean, they just had a moratorium for everything. You just wonder how the numbers are being so manipulated and the data is being manipulated. You wonder what's accurate, what's not. Conventional mortgage delinquencies are creeping up at this point, but when you look at FHA loans and the VA loans, we have a problem. And you take into account all the corporate layoffs we're seeing and all of the federal layoffs we're beginning to see and that we're going to see. This is going to run through the housing market like a hot knife through butter. If you work for the federal government, I hope you have a fallback plan, because we're going to see hundreds of thousands of people out of a job, and most of these people I don't think could really compete in the real world. They're not essential workers. They know it. That's just a fact. That's the reality. And they're going to have to deal with the real world now. Either you have some skills or you don't. And the people that don't, they're going to be in very, very big trouble. Now everyone can see it. The economy is terrible. This also on the hedge. It says here, output is far lower than we know. Effective unemployment is far higher, and prices have risen as much as twice as the government has admitted. Probably much more than that. The unemployment numbers. It goes on to say, don't consider the quality of jobs, the hours worked, how many people are working multiple jobs. CPI also a joke. What this article is basically saying is, the CPI, unemployment numbers, the inflation numbers, for years, it has been completely manipulated. They were just telling us whatever they wanted to tell us. They weren't really giving us the real data, because the real data is easily manipulated. CPI is also a joke. Since 2001, the cost of living has risen 35% faster than the current CPI. So people who have been believing these numbers and believing everything was okay, the economy's fine, the consumer's fine, everything's all right, a lot of these people made life-altering decisions based on this data. And we're now going to get the real data, I believe, with the new administration that is now in office. I think we're going to begin to get more realistic data, and it's not going to be good. And of course, they're going to blame this on the new administration when the last 4 years we had a dementia patient in office that, if we were lucky, we saw him at the beach for months. He would not talk to the media. And so we didn't really know what was going on. And we still don't really know for sure for the past 4 years who was even running the country. But we know for sure that we had a gentleman up on stage that didn't know how to get off the stage. He didn't even know his own name at times. He didn't know where he was at times. I mean, this is all reality. This isn't political. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, you're being political. It doesn't matter if you're right, left, in the middle. We all know that this gentleman, Sleepy Joe, had some disabilities. He didn't know where he was half the time, and we didn't know who was running the country. This guy was mumbling, and as I said before, this guy couldn't even get a job being a Walmart greeter. That is a fact. And you know damn well, if you had a company, or if you do have a company, you would never hire Sleepy Joe for your company. What could he do? He couldn't even talk. He couldn't walk. He couldn't ride a bicycle. He couldn't do nothing. And you wouldn't hire him for anything. Nothing. And yet this guy, was supposedly running the country for 4 years. Are people just outraged yet with what just took place? They actually think that you believe that this guy was running the country, that this guy, was the sharpest tack in the room? Give me a break. Department of Veterans Affairs fires over 1,000 employees. This is expected to save $98 million per year. Look, the government is cutting the fat, ladies and gentlemen. They are cutting the fat. And they're going to have to become more efficient to cut more fat, to cut billions of dollars. And we're going to see a lot more jobs cut. And they can, hold this up with federal judges for a while, but it's a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to see mass layoffs. And we all know the economy is struggling. You're going to see more small, medium businesses lay off, and corporations, as they're doing right now, laying off by the thousands. Let's do it. Rand Paul supports Fort Knox physical audit after zero hedge suggestion goes viral. He wants now Elon Musk and Doge to go into Fort Knox and do an audit. Is there any, let me ask all of you this, is there any gold in Fort Knox? How much gold is even left? What did they say? I think they said, I could be wrong here, correct me if I'm wrong, 8,000 tons. 8,000 tons of gold are supposed to be in Fort Knox. I could be wrong with that number, but if I am, correct me. But whatever the number is the gold still there? Is 50% of the gold there? Is any of it there? The last audit was conducted September 23rd, 1974, but this audit was not really an audit. They only opened one vault of the 15. They did not match the serial numbers of any of the bars, and they did not test for purity of any of the bars. I think the last real authentic audit was in the 1950s. But correct me if I'm wrong, is there any gold left at Fort Knox? And if there is, how much is left, if any at all? Love to know your thoughts on that. And here's the last article of the day. Syrian refugee suspected in stabbing in Austria that left 5 injured, and a 14-year-old has lost their life. So here's another one. It says here that 6 people were stabbed in the Austrian town of Villach in a suspected terrorist attack Saturday afternoon. we're going to see more of this, unfortunately. It seems like every week we're seeing this in a different country. And I do believe we're going to see more of this take place here in America. And it's another reminder of why we all need to be exercising situational awareness, why we all need to be getting in better physical shape, and why we all need to have defensive skills and have a plan. Your whole family should be on board. You should have a plan with your family when you're out, when you're at home. Everybody should be training. Everybody should be at the range. Everybody should be getting in better shape. There's just nothing negative about knowing how to defend yourself or being in good physical shape. There's just no negative. You have more confidence. You live longer. Your chances of survival are much higher than the average person who's not trained, who's going to go back and fall back on their skills, which are absolutely nothing. At least you put the odds in your favor to survive an attack, survive a bad situation. Nothing's 100%, but you got to ask yourself, just use common sense. The person who maybe has some basic training versus somebody who has zero, who has the odds in their favor to at least have a better chance to survive? Now, if you have a couple years of training, you're at the range, you're at the gym, you're doing jiu-jitsu, boxing, whatever, you have a couple years under your belt, who has a better chance? The person with no training or the person with a couple years of training? It's all about, life is all about putting the odds in your favor. That's just what it's about. And when it comes down to surviving, don't you want to put as many odds in your favor as you possibly can? That means you have to add skills. You have to be in better shape. You have to be training. You have to make the sacrifice. You have to have the discipline. And it only takes one bad day, and that's it. And I pray to God that none of you are ever in a bad situation, but it just takes one bad day. 1 minute, 10 seconds can change your life forever. So as I leave you today, make sure you're adding skills, you're getting to the range, you're training, you're getting into the best physical shape you can humanly get into, you're walking close to God, and you're doing your due diligence and absorbing this knowledge. Spend a few minutes a day, absorb some knowledge, and know what's going on. The people who are brain dead, the sheeple, these people are just going to lose, as they always do throughout history. The sheep always lose. Be a lion, surround yourself with good quality people, surround yourself with people who are training, surround yourself with people who are awake, surround yourself with people who have your back, not the people who are going to run, not the people who make excuses of why they can't, get in shape, why they can't train, why they have no defensive skills. Those people lose. Those are weak. Surround yourself with good, solid people. And I get this asked a lot. I'm handicapped, or I'm older, I can't do this stuff. Then surround yourself with people that can. Surround yourself with people that can do these things. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on any of this. So we have another terror attack. When are we going to see one here in America? We've had so many people warn of this. We know that there are thousands of very, very bad actors in this country right now with some very, very bad plans. And it's just a matter of time. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on anything today. But let me know what's happening, in the job market and the housing market where you live. Are you seeing more listings? Are prices coming down at all? What about the job market? Are you seeing more people? Do you know people, friends, family that are getting laid off? Let us know. The comments are incredible. Wealth of knowledge. Keep them coming. God bless every one of you. As always, look forward to speaking with each and every one of you very, very soon. Be safe out there. Exercise situational awareness. Walk close to God. Take care.